Greetings, everyone. Welcome to Royal Booth, your one-stop station for all things Sussex. I'm Dave, your host. Here, we delve into the narratives, the headlines, and the conversations that swirl around the Sussexes. We dissect, we discuss, we ponder. Our aim? To entertain, to inform, and to offer a fresh perspective. Remember, though, our commentary doesn't represent any parties involved in these stories. It's all in good fun and for your entertainment. So, without further ado, let's dive into the heart of today's topic.
Turnover rate is when you count the staff who aren't in senior positions. This source you have, this person who is still traumatised by, I shouldn't laugh, but by the time with Meghan, what was her main issue? What did she do to dehumanise her?
Well, I mean, one of the things that she pointed out that Meghan was incredibly ugly when Harry wasn't around. But as soon as Harry was around, and another point they made was the mask slipped after about 6 weeks, that Meghan was like a fairy, like so happy and just full of joy and sweetness. But after about 6 weeks, the mask slipped and they felt like the real Meghan came out to play, and that Meghan typically is ugly when Harry's not around. But if Harry catches Meghan being nasty, he does step in and defend the staff, which I thought was incredibly interesting.
Ever wondered why the British media seems so fixated on the Sussexes? Well, it's simple. The truth doesn't sell papers, but a manufactured villain does. Imagine a world where every professional exit is painted as a scandal, where every change is twisted into a sign of dysfunction. That's the world the British media has created for Meghan, the Duchess of Sussex, and Prince Harry. Outlets like The Sun and commentators like Kinsey Schofield have turned the standard conclusion of a contract into a drama and dysfunction, as they've taken the utmost gratitude expressed by Meredith Maines and Method Communications and spun it into a tale of the Duchess difficult. But why? Why this obsession with painting Meghan as a villain? The answer lies in the need for a scapegoat, the need for a monster to feed to the public. They've taken the standard professional world and painted it with scandal and intrigue, turning the Sussexes into the villains of their narrative. And it doesn't stop there. The media's obsession with the Sussexes extends to the petty and the baseless. Take a look at the conversations happening on Sky News, where Kinsey Schofield gossips about masks slipping and Meghan being ugly when Harry isn't around. It's dehumanizing, it's baseless, and frankly, it's pathetic. Then there's the selective reporting. The media conveniently forgets the praise and gratitude expressed by the Sussexes' staff. They ignore the fact that Catherine Saint Laurent found her work with the Sussexes deeply meaningful, that Ashley Hansen still represents them despite moving to her own consultancy. They ignore the truth because the truth doesn't sell papers. It's a desperate attempt to keep a dying smear campaign alive. The media is using Meredith Maines as a Trojan horse to revive old gossip, to pin the blame on Meghan for the palace's failings. It's not about reporting news anymore. It has become a desperate attempt to keep the smear campaign alive. So, next time you see a sensational headline about the Sussexes, remember this. It's not about the truth. It's about selling papers. And a manufactured villain sells more papers than the truth ever will. This is a perfect example of the media's desperate attempts to keep the Duchess difficult narrative alive. Let's set the record straight, shall we? Meredith Maines and Method Communications ended their professional relationship with Meghan, the Duchess of Sussex, and Prince Harry in a standard conclusion of a contract. They issued a statement expressing utmost gratitude for the opportunity to work with the Sussexes, describing their year-long collaboration as inspiring. Now, that sounds like a pretty standard amicable parting of ways, doesn't it? However, the media, particularly outlets like The Sun, have taken this normal professional occurrence and spun it into a tale of collapse and dysfunction. They've taken a standard contract conclusion and turned it into a scandal, a controversy. Why? Simply because it feeds their narrative of Meghan as the Duchess difficult. But we know better, don't we? We understand that in the professional world, contracts end, people move on, and there's no need for melodrama or scandal. But of course, melodrama and scandal sell papers. They get clicks. They draw in viewers. So the media takes a simple, straightforward professional matter and twists it into something it's not. What's worse is that they disregard the actual words of those involved. They ignore the utmost gratitude and the inspiring year of work, focusing instead on their own fabricated narrative. This isn't reporting, this is storytelling, and it's not even good storytelling at that. So next time you see a headline about the collapse or dysfunction of the Sussexes' professional relationships, remember the true story. Remember the utmost gratitude, the inspiring work, and the standard conclusion of a contract. Remember that the media is more interested in selling papers than reporting the truth. But because the media needs a villain, they have framed this as a collapse or dysfunction. Then we have the dehumanizing conversations on platforms like Sky News. These discussions are not about news or facts. They are about perpetuating harmful narratives that sell papers and drive clicks. For example, Kinsey Schofield, a commentator who appears to relish in the role of the antagonist, peddles baseless gossip about the Duchess of Sussex. She talks about masks slipping and Meghan being ugly when Harry isn't around. This kind of commentary is more than just unkind. It is a deliberate attempt to dehumanize the Duchess, to reduce her to a caricature that can be ridiculed and vilified. This isn't journalism, it's character assassination. But it doesn't stop there. These commentators also laugh about people being traumatized while ignoring the actual evidence. They claim Prince Harry has to defend the staff from his own wife, yet they conveniently overlook what the Duke himself stated in Spare. Harry was open about the reality of the situation. He described a Kensington Palace office poisoned not by Meghan, but by the relentless pressure of the press and an internal factionalism that pitted Team Cambridge against Team Sussex. He talked about staff members weeping at their desks, not because of Meghan, but because they were overstretched and under-resourced. And who did Prince William blame? He blamed Meghan. The media took those tears, stripped away the institutional failure, and pinned it all on one woman. This is not just unfair, it is a strategic move to shift the blame from a failing palace system onto a woman who had the strength to walk away from it. The media's role in this is undeniable. They have not just reported on the story. They have actively shaped it, creating a villain where there should have been understanding and empathy. We see right through the mask, not Meghan's, but the media's. Remember, it's not about seeing through Meghan's mask, but the media's. They're the ones who need to take a hard look in the mirror and reconsider their approach to responsible journalism.